I don't know anything about history. And I can tell because every history movie I watch on the edge of my seat. What is gonna happen? I watched Pearl Harbor. I was as surprised as they were, you know?
We're at the rehearsal dinner. It's a wonderful night, but my wife does not look well, and I say, "What's wrong?" And she said, "I think I have food poisoning." And so then I did something called mansplaining. And if you don't know what that is, ladies, it is when a man with no shared experience to what you're going through tells you what's actually happening. And so I said to my wife, "You do not have food poisoning. What you have is something called the wedding jitters. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna go back to your parents' house and I'm gonna go to the hotel, and in the morning I'm gonna call you and you're gonna feel great and we're gonna have this amazing wedding that you have planned." And so we did that, and the next morning I called her and I said, "How are you feeling?" And she said, "I'm at the emergency room because I have fucking food poisoning."
I pulled a muscle recently. I guess it was in my soul. I mean, it was dead middle of my body. I thought it was the front, and then I was like, well, that back hurts too, you know, so. Well, what's in the middle? What muscle is in the middle?
During the pandemic, I was fired from a job because I burped in a Zoom meeting. It's true. How does that happen? How does that happen? I'll tell you. I went to burp in the Zoom meeting, and I went to mute myself, but it turns out I was already on mute, okay? So instead, I unmuted myself, burped, remuted myself, and looked very self-satisfied. And then, this is also true, in the meeting where they fired me, they told me that afterwards I smiled. Just a crazy business power move.
I was trying to think about where I get my dramatic side from. And it's absolutely from my grandma, because this woman has been traumatizing me for years. Yeah? The other day, this woman said to me that I have until she dies to find a husband because I can't come to her graveside single. As if she could stop me, do you know what I mean? It's a bit ridiculous, right? But I realised that's where I get my dramatic side from. And she's also, not just dramatic, but she's also very superstitious. Jamaicans in general, we're very superstitious people. We don't like ghosts, right? We don't like spirits. We call it duppy. Anything that's not in this spiritual realm, that's why you don't see us in horror films. It's not accurate, right? Could you imagine a Jamaican horror film? It's not racist to say no, it's okay. You know, white people always panic when I ask them that question, but they look at me like, you tell me. It's okay, you know? It's fine. You can't picture a Jamaican horror film. You can't. And I'll tell you why, because this is how a Jamaican horror film would go. You would see a Jamaican family move into a house. You'd see them all go to bed. You'd hear a demon in the middle of the night say, "Go home." Everyone would sit up and say, "All right," and leave. When I got robbed, you know, usually people do care at that point. Thank you, that one person. People tend to show empathy. I'm going to do it again. I'll cue it up. You guys remember next time. Because I got robbed a couple months ago. Stop, guys. Don't patronise me. Right, so I got robbed because I live in this fantastic place called Croydon. Right? You weren't meant to laugh. I don't think that was quite a joke. And I was standing at the bus stop, right? And this absolute right, just zoomed past me, took my phone out of my hand, and he was gone. Right? And it happened so quickly, I didn't even realise what happened until my AirPods went doo-doo. I said, yeah. Yeah, he's gone. Right? And when I went home and I told my family, I realised that one half of them were absolutely useless. Because when I told my auntie what happened, she said, "But why didn't you just say no?"
So I go after a guy with like an active necklace, and which is good though, because during the sex, it's like hanging over you, like swaying back and forth as a reminder that he's not to be loved and or respected, right? It's right there. And you feel good. And they always have a dumb reason for their necklace too. It infuriates me. It's my grandfather's dog tags. Hold it closed. I'm just like, okay, good. At least the spirit of a real man will be hovering over me tonight. That's a plus, I guess. Someone who actually fought for something other than a parking spot at GameStop.
She's the cheaper one of us as well. Not in a bad way, you know. She likes the lights being off. Turn the lights off, you know. Save money. Get the little lights off. It's a fun time being in that environment. Turn the light on, find your seat, get a stick, knock the light back off. Sit in the dark and be sad. And you're sad all day. But you're saving nickels upon nickels. Right when I get in bed, you turn that light off, I can't tell that's on. Well, get out of bed, turn it off. 80 years, we'll give our daughter $37 from all the nickels we saved.
My therapist, her name's Hazel. She charges me £60 an hour. The conversion rate's too easy on that, isn't it? It's £1 a minute, and I think about that with every passing second. She likes to do 5 minutes of breathing at the top of each session. That's £5 of breathing. I can't afford to breathe like that. I can breathe for free at home. I came in for help. There was one day she sneezed, it cost me 25p. Other people, there's no dignity in it. There's no dignity in therapy. Other people tell me their therapists are considerate. They're considerate of their feelings. They give them little warnings. They'll say to them, this is going to be over. In about 5 minutes, it'll be at the end. Like your mom on a play date, a 5-minute warning. Hazel doesn't do that. Hazel treats our sessions like a game of articulate. It's like she's got a sand timer ticking down, and I can see it too. I'm trying to get everything out, all my words out as quickly as possible, say as much as I can in the time that I've got left. And then suddenly she goes, time! And I'm like, oh, that one was, I want to die. And she's like, oh, too slow.
Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be a stand-up comedian. Just like you.
You just feel the Chinese coming on, right? You take your glasses off like Hitler in the bunker. Stand-up comedy? Are you out of your fucking mind? That's not even a real job. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? You're just gonna run around America and tell jokes to strangers who don't give a fuck about your mental health?
And even if you do, somehow manage to overcome the odds and make it to even a semi-professional level as a stand-up comedian, do you think there's any chance in hell you'd be funnier than me?
Daddy's a borderline arena act in some markets. Have you seen my IMDb page? I'm in everything. I will fucking crush your career. Bulgari.
I was in the park last night and I saw a black squirrel being chased by 2 gray squirrels. And I got anxious. And I blurted out, run. You faster than that, come on, man. But he ain't get it because he's a squirrel. And out of nowhere, this lady was like, you really shouldn't say that word. A lot of people don't like it. It makes me feel funny. And I was like, why are you in the park this late? Don't touch me. Then the squirrel crawled down the tree and he looked at me and he was like, And I told him I don't know her. I don't feel too safe either, you know. What happened? You dropped the acorn and the cop started shooting. You gotta protect your nuts, man. That's what's up. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't like walking up behind white women at night. Makes me really uncomfortable. So I cross the street. A couple nights ago, I'm walking home. Got my beats going. Uh-oh, white woman. Think I'll cross the street. Uh-oh, another white woman. So now I'm walking in the middle of the street, which makes it look even more creepy. Then there's the cab driver. Bam, bam, get out of the street, brother. I'm like, Vishnu, there are white women all over the place. Holy shit, get in. He's like, brother, when walking at night, you have to be very careful. These policemen and white women are very dangerous, brother. You have to take care of yourself, Denzel. Yeah, that's not my name. As my name is not Vishnu. Touché, nigga.